Good afternoon and welcome to the Briggs Opera House. And thanks for coming out on a sunny day. We were kind of hoping it'd be rainy and miserable. We'd be real happy to be in here. This is the little theater that could. This is the little theater that did. This is the little theater that can, and now we know it's the little theater that will. So again, thanks for coming. A couple of functional things. No beepers. You've heard that before. The exits, there's an exit emergency behind the riser system here, and then of course the door in which you came through to be here. I want to make a couple of quick comments on the past, present, and future of this space, if I might. I'm reminded of the Dr. Seuss saying, paraphrase would be, oh, the things that we've experienced in this room. In fact, the intimacy of this room has informed the Barrett Theater, which we now enjoy at Northern Stage. The last time that I saw a reading, attended a reading, was in this room, and the play was called Resurrection Blues. The playwright was here that day, and it was Arthur Miller. So that was a singular moment. And Arthur Miller sat in seat number 4, which today is occupied by my good friend, all of our good friend, Ruth Wellington, who was one of the founders of River City Arts, and of course that gave way to Northern Stage. And so we're delighted to have Ruth here with us today. To the present, Iliad began officially in this room as Steve and John Kemeny sort of authorized or acknowledged that it was ready to go forward. So it's really a very wonderful thing for Osher people to be here today in support of Steve's work. There's a nice continuum there. As Steve said, this is a work in process. So rather than think of it as a polished performance that you can be critical of in the way that New York City writers would be critical about it on behalf and support of Steve's work, because he'd be the first to tell you he's got a ways to go. And so think of it that way. I attended last night and I enjoyed it from that perspective. I was right on board with him. And be doing some critical thinking and be ready to give him the response. If you can't do it during the Q&A, do it virtually, because now it goes on and on and on through Facebook, and I'm sure it'll go literally all over the world. There will indeed be an intermission, and I will have something to drink and something to eat for you at intermission. So be sure to be here for that. With regard to the future, we're in now what I call the second year of fun, post-Northern Stage in the Briggs Opera House. The calls have been coming in incessantly, and from a really diverse set of needs and interests. And it tells us that this place needs to remain accessible to the whole community. Our focus right now is how do we manage that transition from one entity exercise here to the whole community, interfacing with the arts. And I'm joined with 4 other noteworthy citizens that you'll soon know more and more about in terms of how we're going to shape that future and invite your support. So with that, I'd like to reintroduce you to the playwright, Steve Kelber.
I feel a little bit like the stewardess on a plane. I was in Newark, New Jersey one day. The plane had been held on the tarmac because of weather for 3 hours. And when we finally took off, an announcement came over the loudspeaker, and she said, "This is at the time we would normally roll out the drink cart, but you drank it all." I've already said everything I was supposed to say, except this. Please make yourselves comfortable. How could you not in these seats in the Briggs Opera House? But not too comfortable. Ease yourself just a little toward the edge of your seats because you're about to meet the florists.
A small flower shop. Though shuttered and unoccupied, a refrigerator containing freshly cut flowers is lit, softly illuminating the small arboretum in the shop's rear. And above the front window stretches a banner, 11 days to Valentine's Day. A cozy bookshop containing mostly used books. Shelves precisely lined with hardbound books frame the shop's office. And through the office window, the shop's register and aisles, and a sign, novels. And a young woman, her hair plaited and bound around her head. Now between the shops, a narrow alley. On this dark February afternoon, the alley's lone street lamp flickers on as the flower shop's wall clock chimes 3, revealing a city bench near the bookshop's door, and across from the bench, the flower shop's back door. A man, buttoning a winter coat, tugging on his fedora's brim. His shadowed features could be old, but he moves like a younger man. Footsteps can be heard, and then 2 old voices. A man and woman, both an honest 80 years old, enter the alley and stop beneath the street lamp.
A florist shop? Closed? But it's almost Valentine's Day.
From her purse, Ethel extracts an envelope.
All day you're working with the flowers. You must be tired, Ethel. You know, we can go home if you wish.
No. This letter, it's like a summons. Do we know Gabriel Bezanson?
The old couple retreats slowly, heading for the bookshop's front door. A young man, wearing a worn tweed jacket and muffler, gets the door for them. A second young woman appears as the door begins closing. Her pretty face is nicely made up, set off by a long woolen skirt and ski jacket, lift ticket still attached. She unzips her jacket, revealing a bright silk floral print blouse, and its top 2 buttons are open.
Have you people found me Henry Meller's Tropic of Cancer? I mean, how hard could it be, s'il vous plaît, for someone presumably paid to work in a bookshop?
We're so sorry to disappoint you. D.H. Lawrence, right? We're expecting the lady along any day now. May I help you?
Mr. Gabriel Bezanson, is he here?
The young woman taps twice before pushing open the office door. And after seating his guests, Gabriel Bezanson begins serving tea from an antique silver service. Standing over the young man, the second young woman lets loose a 3rd button on her blouse.
Let me know if you need anything.
Wuthering Heights. You wonder why I invited you here.
And why we responded to a stranger.
Perhaps because I referred to the flowers.
Do we know you?
I know you. You are Ethel Michaels, and Leo, your husband of almost 60 years. My name is Bezanson. I own this shop and the flower shop next door. Since you are struggling florists, you might be interested in an unusual offer respecting...
And how is it your business that we are struggling?
Pardon my bluntness, 60 years. Have you two been in love the whole time?
Do you believe in love at first sight, Mr. Bezanson?
I believe it is possible. How's your tea? May I ask how you met?
On a trolley in Brooklyn. It was February 1949. Valentine's Day.
A magical day, huh? Warm for winter, huh? I did not see her at first, but I was not looking.
I said, hello. Why, a man I did not know.
It happened as it should have happened. You found one another.
Luckily, huh? Such a crowded car, I could have missed her.
Ah, each one catching the other's eyes. Do you believe it was love at first sight? And yet, I think another time, there might have been another for you, for her. True love is a rare gift. It lives by its own rules. It may be quite insistent, or merely be present, requiring assistance, the advice of a more experienced friend, an unusual time of privacy, or the unmistakable effect of flowers. In every case, certain forces must align. Two lovers, their circumstances and experience, and timing. Tragically, true love may also be lost. I am intrigued that you bought a small flower shop. Why?
Well, as a girl, I found myself in a field of daisies, hugging my doll until my arms ached. I told Leo, I need to be a florist.
After we married, but what else would I do? I bought her the little shop.
But one day, to help a young woman, she was losing hope, I tried the daisies.
That young woman was, I believe, soon married. Encouraged, you tried other flowers on other customers. Sometimes you succeeded in urging love along. Quite often, however, you have failed, and you did not know why. Without access to the power, you couldn't control the flowers using my books in my shop. You shall learn the confidence of intention. With the flowers, we must mean what we say with all our hearts. The flowers cannot elicit love where none exists. They merely clarify lovers' senses in the one moment when they may find true love. Long ago, the guild elders taught me, flowers thus imbued with magic lay the soul so full awake, that one may know one's partner's heart brought near for true love's sake. And you added images of love, paintings, photography, photographs, illustrations to go with your wife's vases.
She was making herself so tired, working alone. I wanted to help. All I knew was art and literature. I took more courses, bought more books.
In the meantime, your wife was teaching herself about the flowers.
The roses taught me to be careful with my best customers. Not too much, not too soon.
Precisely. Timing is everything. True love requires that both lovers be ready. If one is not, perhaps, wounded by experience, well, then again, together, over decades, you learned a great deal about love, true love.
I could not keep up with my wife. She can tell you more than what true love is. She knows how it is born, even how it dies.
Ah, when it's born.
As we have said to one another, she knows in a heartbeat.
As I thought, therefore, having observed you for some time, I today offer you my own flower shop, the one shuttered next door. My previous florist served me well, but some things must end. There is one condition.
Condition? Why should we under any condition? We are used to working for ourselves.
My shop comes with, how shall I say, advantages and a loyal following. You won't merely work there. The apartment is provided above the shop. This situation will become your life more completely than you have ever dreamed. You will become master florist.
That book. How do you?
Into our secret guild I invite you today. Ethel shall use flowers to help those who find your shop, whose path to true love is deserved yet unclear.
What you ask? We should give our lives to you?
We should know more about a stranger with a flower shop he can give away.
A judicious caution. I have always suspected that, like you, I was being watched. Soon after the tragic death of my true love, I was invited into the guild, which has given me refuge in our work. The challenge of seeing that others' love is not lost.
From a bookshop? That trick of yours. I thought this book moved to your hand.
Is that what you saw?
What was that, magic?
What we do is very real. Helping those in danger of missing true love, the magic is made by the lovers we assist. You have been the magicians of your own love. And as we say in the guild, it isn't magic to the magicians. Many other books await you both in the flower shop next door, if you accept my offer.
And of course, you want a price, yeah, for the shop, for rent. Such a turn. Only this morning we were worried about our mortgage. This shop comes with this one condition, but also with customers and without payments.
I'm afraid. What have we done to deserve such a thing?
Life can be cruel, but can it not also be beneficent? You must excuse us, Byzantian. We are old. My wife is not well. One question, sir. Why us?
Do I control the planets, the stars? That flowers demand this of you now is not my responsibility. Valentine's Day is nearly upon us, and I own an unattended flower shop. Do I not feel pressure too?
How is that our concern?
Forgive my haste. I assumed Ethel understood that the flowers had taken her far enough she cannot go back. I should explain my purpose and your roles. Should you accept my shop from the guild, will you hear me? Starting with the flowers, and how they became associated with Valentine's Day. Valentine was a 3rd century Catholic priest. He was martyred by Roman Emperor Claudius II for performing marriages for young men of military age. This drove love underground. By the middle of the century, there had sprung up in certain villages volunteers for love. These self-appointed men and women received confessions between lovers, guided love's progress, and, in cases of true love, performed illicit marriages. Word quietly spread until one night in midwinter of the year 275, there took place a secret meeting in the drying shed of Miles Plowman. Amid racks of flowers and herbs, 31 volunteers established a secret guild in support of true love. Thus began the association of flowers with particular messages from one lover to another. Guided by the guild, young men wore on their hats a progression of flowers. Their lady loves, alerted to the meanings, might, if so moved, affix floral responses over their hearts. Years passed. The guild invited only the most skilled and honest love brokers into membership. By this guild was the practice of flower messaging between lovers perfected. The guild also studied the origins, paths, and characteristics of true love, and also of false love, of infatuation, desire, covetousness, and other blasphemies. Today, we of the guild continue to perfect 2,000 years of knowledge concerning how the flowers promote true love.
And you think us worthy? Oh, Leo, I know my heart, but What if it's all true?
And if it's a cruel lie? Well, beyond flowers, what is this guild to me?
Without your love, Ethel could not believe in the flowers. Further, as I have observed, you often add art images to your wife's vases, images of true love from your books of literature and art history. Hero and Leander, Daphne and Chloe. You've studied thousands of images of timeless love stories. It was your idea to order up the magic carpet I have stood upon in your little shop's entrance. Inspired by you, I've had a carpet of my own woven with Cupid and Psyche at its center. You shall see it this very afternoon if you only accept the offer of my shop and admission to the guild.
We have a mortgage.
Leave that to me. In all things, I will be here for you, except when I must travel. You shall want for nothing. My shop needs you, and as Ethel senses, you need it. If ever you cannot continue, you must tell me, but now, on your way back home, look into my shop, inspect your apartment. The key hangs behind street number 23 and a half. I believe you will find everything in order. By tomorrow night, it will be your new home.
Well, tomorrow night, but our belongings and
Did
our
I
furniture.
not say I will take care of everything? See me again when you're settled, and we'll discuss the book in your hands, and many others. Hurry now, your shop expects you to come. A dangerous tale. The jealousy, I mean.
It's only romantic fiction. A way only my friend Emily Bronte could write it. What?
I have what I need from the new shipment. When you have time, shelve the others. Your grandmother, Margaret, hasn't stopped by lately. She's all right?
She's fine. The house needs a man. I had to repair the bed in her spare room.
Don't be critical. She's an almost perfect human being. And she loves you very much.
Pile on the guilt. I know she's changed her life for me. When she could be out dating.
Matchmaking, even for your grandmother. If she'll date, she'll date. No one stands in that woman's way.
Except my mother. You don't have to be a wizard to know Grandma Kylie was threatened with her life not to let anything happen to me while I'm here. Mother will decide when I'm over Jonathan's death. And then I'll be whisked back to England. This time, Mother will choose for me. She never accepted Jonathan. He wasn't one of them.
Well, tell Margaret she's overdue for a visit, if only to be certain of your welfare.
For that, she trusts you. How many years has she come here? Not just for the books.
At it again?
What, matchmaking? Sometimes it's my duty to prevent horrible mismatches.
We don't decide who falls in love. It is hard enough to know for ourselves.
We don't decide, but we can help, you mean, with flowers.
We needn't speak of the flowers.
No wonder Grandma says you drive a woman to distraction when you think I'm trying to help a customer. Matchmaking, if you insist. You sit me down with a gorgeous book of flowers, most devious distraction of all. But if I ask one question about what all these books are for, you send me back to work. Why can't I try flowers on my little lovies? Nothing frightening, only oak leaf geranium, or forget-me-nots to get me out, get them off on the right foot.
The flowers are no parlor game. It's dangerous and unfair to sway lovers' emotions before you know what you're doing.
Then teach me.
Perhaps when your heart is ready. For now, I'm under strict orders.
So you put me here. thinking I couldn't handle the flowers. She's wrong for him. And none of your flower book distractions, Uncle Merlin. Her taste in fiction would corrupt him. And if she doesn't button that blouse in this weather, she'll die of a chest cold.
If you must dabble, why don't you introduce your grandmother to Mr. Bernard?
My grandmother knows what she wants. It is not that stuffy old man.
Certainement. Tropic of Capricorn. Who doesn't? Can you fathom the desperate dearth of this place? Only one novel by Henry Miller? Well, Tropic of Cancer. Aren't you wonderful? You'll love this. Same love for you.
Lady Shadowley's arrived in the nick of time.
You mind if I check a few passages before you set fire?
That's all the Henry Miller he's going to find today. High maintenance, aren't you?
Sorry, I'm just not finding novels to prove my thesis.
Grad student. I should have known.
Oh, is that bad?
Sorry. That wasn't meant for you. Some people make me cranky. Molly Kiley.
Oh, I guess it is time to get names. Max. Maximilian Dedham.
Dead. What?
Oh, sorry, Dedham. Dedham.
Ah. Well, Max. Dedham. You were saying about your thesis.
Oh, I want to prove that it's possible to get the man and woman right in the same love story. It's turning out a lot harder than I thought. I was hoping the lady here might. You know, you seem quite well read. May I ask? I reread the part where she's attracted to her gardener, but he's a stone. Is that what we've been wanting?
We're still talking about fiction.
I only mean well. I just want to check my memory on this. Lawrence's women are better than his men. He fails my test. He doesn't get the man.
And woman right in the same story. Got that.
You know the Brontes?
Grandma read them to me. The Bronte sisters' novels made me a reader. But you're asking, does Emily Bronte get the man and woman right? Maybe I should withhold judgment. I'm rereading this for the first time in years. Heaven knows, as a girl, I wanted to believe Kathy was right, loving Heathcliff no matter what her parents and anyone else thought about him. This time through, I haven't felt as sure. He feels more dangerous somehow. I find myself wanting to warn Kathy to be more, I don't know, cautious. Besides, as it turns out, I'm more of a Charlotte Bronte kind of girl. I married a very down-to-earth Mr. Rochester. Jane Eyre. Well, we weren't talking about me. How about Shakespeare? Don't you think Romeo and Juliet? Now there's a man overwhelmed. He dies for love.
Oh, he's a boy. What does he know? And Juliet's not a woman. She's such a twin.
Smart enough to know her family's telling her who to love. It's her mother's fault, trust me. What about Anthony, when he's with Cleopatra?
I'm sticking to novels for my thesis, I mean. A lot of authors get the men wrong. Have you slogged through a lot of Henry James?
My husband adored Henry James. He died. Not James. Well, of course James died in 1916. My husband died back in December. I found him at our London flat, in the garden, lying among the lilacs. Never mind me. You were saying about Henry James.
Well, he did one young man well. It was a mid-career novel, The Princess Casamassima.
Hi, you do have a way. Henry James wrote a whole shelf of books, and you picked the one guaranteed to raise Jonathan's ghost. Can we talk about something else? Unless the princess is your perfect love story.
No, I only meant, you know, it's different the way you refer to novels as the main characters in them. I like that. Have you happened to read The Princess? No, nobody does. The book isn't even about a princess. It's about a young man, Hyacinth Robinson, a delicate flower. There I go again. About James when he hasn't got to.
Look, it isn't your fault about Henry James. I'm not really well, you know? If my mother were here, she'd send you packing. Until I'm recovered, would be her idea. Everything's mother's idea. Except Jonathan, of course. Jonathan was my idea. But you don't need to hear all this. You should be over there in my novels alcove, reading.
No, I'd like to understand, really. Do you mind telling me about Jonathan?
I'm not supposed to linger on it. But since you asked. It was Westminster Abbey. Tourists all milling about the way they do. Except Jonathan. He was standing in the south transept, head bowed. He might have been praying. I'd gone to see D.H. Lawrence's stone in the floor, and he was standing over Henry James's. Only Lewis Carroll separated us. I asked if Jonathan, was all right. We walked out together. He bought me tea. We were married against my parents' stricture, and what? Oh, stricture. I know I talk funny sometimes. It's London still draining out. I really should get a complete oil change.
No, don't apologize. You had a terrible loss.
No one else seems to understand. Except my grandmother and Mr. Bezanson. He owns this shop. Perhaps you met him. He isn't always around. Other responsibilities. The flower shop next door. And I don't know what else exactly.
Telling me about Jonathan.
Mother wanted me in a sanitarium until I got over his death. Grandmother took pity on me, brought me over from London, plunked me in her spare bedroom where she could keep a close eye on me. She found me this stress-free job with her old friend. That's what she calls Mr. Bezanson. I think it's hilarious, don't you? People who know they're in love and refuse to admit it. Anyway, they're the only ones. Except for you.
We won't talk about Henry James anymore, I promise. Could you have a coffee with me? Maybe go through Shakespeare together. Help me decide whether to look beyond the novels. If you have time when you aren't working.
I shouldn't. I can't. Mother would. I could get grandmother in a lot of hot water. You understand. I know you do, but good luck on your thesis. Really.
C'est la vie, mon amour.
Lights up on the office.
No tea, no flower books to calm me down.
I might have said you had grown beyond tea and pictures, that you were a healed woman until you tossed that nice young man and the carton.
I'd finished with the carton.
And the young man? You two talked quite a while, despite, or was it because of, the other woman?
You think I'm jealous?
Would that be so bad? He seemed rather nice, a reader, I believe.
No, Uncle Gabriel. He's a graduate student with no. Mother would fire you if she thought you approved.
I approve of anyone who helps you get over you-know-who, the old ghost.
My Jonathan.
Still thinking of him as yours, eh? You'll disappoint your grandmother. I was hoping you've begun to leave Jonathan, if not behind, perhaps safely tucked away.
How is it anyone's business where I tuck him? If he wishes to be dead to me, he'll leave.
Foregoing a theoretical debate of the longevity of ghosts, I wish to say regarding Max, who is very much among the living, that I believe you saw Jonathan very clearly not so many minutes ago, hovering over your graduate student, did you not? I wonder, whose jealousy holds the greater power, yours or your ghost's? My dear girl, it isn't like you to throw cartons around. Perhaps I underestimated Jonathan, the suddenness of his death, the shock of finding yourself back in the life your mother had planned for you.
I could hate Mother for taking Jonathan's death so cheerily. You think she acts always in my interest, and she does, in a banking sort of way.
She did send you to me. Hasn't that been in your interest in a motherly sort of way?
You meet her need. And when you've seen to my recovery, she'll have Louis Bonheur all queued up. Did you notice, walking away from Jonathan's grave, she actually told me to look on the bright side, by which she meant the Bonheur's worldwide holdings.
So it's your mother, not Jonathan, who stands between you and your graduate student.
I'll decide about that confused young man all by myself.
Haven't you decided by turning down his offer? He made one, I'm morally certain.
How can you know that? Sitting in here with the door closed.
For the fortunate, new love heals old wounds.
Leo finds a door to upstairs. And as he explores, Ethel mimes building a floral arrangement in a beautiful vase. Scissors, ribbon, everything is at hand. As Max approaches, the flower shop's door swings open. The fragrance of flowers fills the still shuttered shop. The shop's doormat catches Max's eye.
May we help you?
Oh, pardon me, the shop's been closed a while. The door swung open.
Well, we were only just looking in ourselves. Mr. Bezanson next door. Strange, isn't it? Everything all ready.
Hey, yes ma'am, do you work here?
Would you like some tea?
And the teapot is already hot.
My name is Ethel Michaels.
I'm Maximilian Denham. That carpet by the door woven into the center, is that Cupid and Psyche?
Oh, yes. At the corners, Paris and Helen, Lancelot and Guinevere, Penelope and Ulysses, and in the fourth corner, Romeo and Juliet. Not from mythology, a 5th century tragedy.
Lovers separated by a family feud, or by Juliet's mother. Don't mind me, it's just something that Molly said. She manages a bookshop next door.
Oh, an old florist knows that look. Tell me.
I tell you what happened with Molly? I did think something happened. I'm in that bookshop often, buying used books, never talk with anybody. Today, another woman, can't say she's been in there before, asked me for help finding a book, and Molly interrupted us to tell me Lady Chatterley had arrived. She calls books by their lead characters. Isn't that interesting? And then we were talking about my thesis, or about us. Do you know what I mean? Well, when I asked her out, Molly just didn't turn me down. She went out like a light. Damn coincidence. I brought up Henry James, who reminded Molly of her husband, who died.
Coincidence? No. You say the husband died recently?
December. Does Molly just need time before I can... Or maybe roses. What about roses? I mean, if you're open for business.
Well, yes, we could be. We don't ordinarily start with roses. Leave the flowers to me. But know this, Maximilian Dedham, flowers speak to women. I see. You've never been in love. But you are now. And so is Molly. Although this troubles her.
How can you know that? I was there, and I don't know what Molly can.
You are mystified by your feelings, not Molly's. You must learn to love and be loved quickly, or lose your moment with Molly. I believe we have been put here to help you.
We?
Husband, can you come?
The same everywhere. Everything's ready for us. A heat's on, a towels with our initials on them. Did you say we had company?
Leo, this is Maximilian Dedham. Max, Leo, my husband of 50 years.
How did he get in?
Leo, he's here. Look at him. You see, Molly, next door, turned him down. A vase for Molly. Its central message, sincerity. A hyacinth.
No.
You were placed before Molly at a moment when she could see you. And as you said, things progressed.
Until Henry James ruined everything. It was one of his characters named Hyacinth.
Not hyacinth. Something Molly can accept. Iris, then. A message. Star of Bethlehem for hope. Blue salvia, I think of you.
Come, Max, please. Sit down. So, as you see, Ethel believes in you and Molly, in your possibilities. As for you particularly, Ethel senses that you are already captured.
Captured? Well, Molly isn't captured. I'm pretty sure she isn't even surrounded.
My wife is seldom wrong, young man. It is our long experience, you see, with our own love, and from helping so many customers, Ethel can detect the beginning of true love.
True love, which begins when you're turned down flat.
As my wife has taught me from nearly half a century of experience, true love is the rarest gift, and one that makes demands. First, it requires seeking out. Then, even if we are among the fortunate few, we must choose to accept it. And if we do, from that moment, true love must be tended, as Ethel tends an orchid, with all of her heart. In our little shop here, we have met many men and women of all ages. Ethel came to know which ones had the gift. Many were unaware of it because they had not found, nor had they been found by, true love. Even when awakened, some, like you perhaps, lacked the courage to declare their love or to accept an offer made to them. Our most frustrating customers had the knack and found a mate, but believed no more was required of them. The ones who brought Ethel to tears were those who, during times of great stress in their lives, lost track of the love on which everything else depends. We tried to help them all, and Ethel informs me that we are to help you, with Molly.
I apologize. This is a lot to swallow. I mean, two old florists I just met.
You are not free to walk into this shop just now, but you are free to walk out.
Within Leo's art book, beautiful illustrations are pasted onto each page, surrounded by sections of text. And in the back of the book, there are spare copies of the illustrations.
What are you doing?
I am helping you. Choose an image of love to go with Ethel's flowers for Molly.
I don't know art.
You know enough to do this.
Help me. What am I looking for?
Let the pages fall.
There. Her hair bound up, her eyes. Is she afraid? Who is she?
That is Lucrezia Panatici, a minor 16th century courtier. Angelo Bronzino's portrait saved her beauty from being lost to all of us.
It's Molly. How? This can be explained, and I want you to explain.
I cannot explain it.
You knew she was in this book so much like Molly that I had to choose her.
This is not my book, young man. I found it here this very hour. So she is your choice then?
Oh, all right then. Yes, it is.
Ethel, look at what our young man has chosen.
Ah, so like Molly Kiley.
He pretends not to see it.
Your vase wants one more thing. What do you think? What do you think, Max?
How can I know for Molly?
You cannot yet, nor can Molly. You are her first with the flowers. That is why you are here. You go home now, and I will finish your vase.
Tomorrow afternoon, when your Molly is back at work, you will return to the bookshop to see how she responds to the flowers we've delivered, along with the Bronzino.
What do I owe you?
No, we have done nothing for you yet. We have had a day. Please, Ethel.
Oh, Leo, so many changes.
Oh, if you cannot continue, please.
No.
We must tell Bazanza.
But Valentine's Day, Max and Molly, then we may think of ourselves.
You were always more beautiful than the flower. I love you.
Oh, yes, you do. And I love you, Leo. Now, there is something here, husband. Something.
What? What is it?
There is something wrong with the flowers. I've done something wrong with the flowers.
Well, this never happened to you before, I think. Bazanza, yeah? It was the image I had in mind. Michelangelo's Pieta. He said we would become master florists, as if we knew nothing.
I've done something wrong with the flowers.
Try.
A book of flower arrangements. And like the art book, there are pictures surrounded by text.
Ah, please, put your hand.
Ah, there. I'm a fool. Bronze chrysanthemum means excitement, precisely to frighten Molly. Disaster for Max. What then? Yellow or white? Secret admirer or truth? Secret admirer, I think. Yellow. Woo!
You need to rest, darling. Please, finish in the morning. Yeah.
I must be equal to the magic of this place. thank you, husband.
Ethel and Leo embrace as only a couple in true love for 50 years can do. And the shop's clock strikes 8.
Thank you for the flowers. And this picture. I didn't really expect to see you at all, after the way I treated you yesterday. Your florist is very good.
Florist, actually. Ethel did the base and Leo helped pick the
Any girl learns to deal with plain old roses, but this, and this. You didn't cut this out of a book.
No. Look, Leo has a wonderful book filled of loose copies of the illustrations.
She's a Bronzina. I looked her up.
She reminds me of you.
Just like me, all right? Her hair's stupidly knotted around her head like a helmet.
Are you upset? You're upset.
Max, thank you. Really, I'm sorry. The flowers, the Renaissance woman, they're too much. Somehow, I don't know what to tell you. Max Dedham, this is Margaret Kiley, my grandmother, guardian, landlady.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised to see you, Maximilian.
Thank you, Mrs. Kyler. Molly speaks very highly of you in your reading together.
Thank you for the...
Well, there's the look I saw last night. He's the person of interest, is he?
Don't tease, Grandma. It's nothing.
Only the reason that I had to give you my strongest warm milk toddy last night. Truly, Mr. Patched Elbows? Perhaps I should have studied him more critically.
More critically? You had your radar switched full on. Of course he ran for his life.
You're going out with him.
You know I can't.
He doesn't know you can't. If he came back today, you obviously haven't told him.
Don't you trust me? Of course I told him. This is not a Jonathan problem, Grandma. It's a Max problem.
We have an
What am I going
agreement.
to do?
We have an agreement about that.
Which did not include a Bronzina.
What's this? A Renaissance painting? She looks like you.
That's what he said.
Where did a boy his age find such a thing? We'll talk later, dear. Gabriel and I must get on with our affair. I suppose you saw the young man. You see everything. He's driving her crazy.
We know how that goes.
Don't start with me, Gabe. You know I can't resist.
Molly seems fine. The books are properly shelved, the cash drawer meticulously...
Stop! You sound like her manager, which you most decidedly are not. She's hurting, and it's possible, despite your responsibilities, that this boy has somehow gotten through to her.
I see. You wish me to play heart surgeon.
How do you look younger the older I feel?
Eye of the beholder.
Muffins and toast. You don't age. It's annoying. Shows your lack of interest in love for yourself, even as you cheer on young love indiscriminately. Oh, not with Molly, Gabe, or I'll have to report it to my daughter-in-law, who will whisk her back to London.
And the father, your own son, cannot prevent that.
He's always done as he's told. Fix this, Gabe. Molly should be healing, not hurting again. Love doesn't always make us happy, as we know.
It may be worse than you fear. The young man has been to my new florist.
Is that how the little homunculus pulled this off? And you had nothing to do with it. A young man who's been in here often without incident. And all of a sudden, these flowers, that painting, my granddaughter in Renaissance lace. Listen to me, Gabriel Bezanson. We brought Molly over from England because the family trusts you to give her something safe to do while she recovers from the death of her husband. To protect her from further involvements until we agree she can handle it. Which, as the last 24 hours prove, she cannot. You didn't see her sobbing in her milk after you let the boy get her alone in the cozy alcove. Don't make me send her home.
I can't believe you would. Molly isn't like her parents. She has the knack.
She's my granddaughter, and she deserves the best after what she's been through. Oh, he's a graduate student, Gabe, with no legitimate prospects. I'll tell you what worries me. The look in her eyes. You're a saint taking her in. Watch out for her with this young man.
I'll do my best. You know that. You also know we disagree about our dangerous habit of planning Molly's life behind her back. If we're still doing it when she falls in love, and she will, our meddling will blow up in our faces. She's an adult, however wounded.
Are you suggesting we call her in here and tell her the young man has to go?
Does he have to go?
I told you what I think. Molly, a word, dear? We were discussing that young man. Gabriel says we were talking behind your back when I never meant that.
There's one for the ages. Never in 20 years has she done what she didn't mean.
You old sorcerer, changing the subject. Presto. She isn't here to talk about me. Gabe more or less demanded, you know how he is, the dear man, that we report what I think about your going on with the young man in your current state.
And what is my current state, grandmother?
Well, as I told Gabe, you've been quite upset since he, whatever he did, asked you out. And after all the progress you've made, it seems a shame to throw you back into ill health. That's all I wanted to say. Gabriel, are you satisfied?
You know, I love you. Both of you. Where would I be right now without you? London. On the other hand, you devote a lot of time to managing my life that you could, if you wanted, that you might better spend being honest with one another.
Molly Kylie, such talk to your elders. Really?
You too. Snooping around inside my heart while ignoring the big fat arrows stuck through your own. Oh yes, you're in love. Even if either of you had the courage to say it.
The Kylie women, genetically predisposed to mind everyone else's business, while, by the by, getting yourselves in deep.
But I've sent Max away. Twice. Could I help it that he needed rescuing from that hussy with her buttons aimed at him? Whatever I did was for his own good.
And there's another genetic trait.
Molly, dear, you get well, and then we'll see.
And of course you'll choose the date. And my date.
Did I hear the front door?
All I'm saying, Gabriel Bezanson, Molly's eyes around that young man, that's what it looks like. She may wish we set a better example of whatever she thinks we are, but we're an ocean better than her parents, which is precisely why we can't lose her. Gabe, why I need you to be on your mark. I don't mean to be hard. You know how I trust you with her. You are a good man, Gabriel Bezanson.
Before you leave for another month, I must go away again myself, and I've been thinking of giving this shop to Molly, if she'll have it, and if the family will allow it.
Ask her.
You don't think her mother wants her back in London eventually?
Leave my daughter-in-law to me.
I ask because Molly will be more inclined with your permission.
Oh, you give me too much credit. Oh, okay, I'll talk with her tonight. But I won't make the offer, Gabe. That's your job. I'm off. If you have no more bombshells, the boy, the florist, the gift of a bookshop.
Life could be less compressed if you didn't stay away so long.
You take care of yourself. We'll talk tonight, dear. I have news.
Oh, Max.
How did it go with the flowers?
And the Bronzino.
Well, she did seem surprised and upset, I guess. Ethel, are you all right?
But the flowers, my chrysanthemums.
I think Molly was so distracted by the Bronzino that and then we were interrupted by her grandmother.
Oh, you met Margaret Kiley, yeah. She plays political kingmaker in this city.
Molly introduced her as her landlady and her guardian. It was intimidating.
Well, if Molly is recovering from her husband's death, Margaret Kiley would take charge, take her in. She's protecting Molly.
Well, not from my flowers. I will find a way. Not too fast. Take him to your books. I must think.
Max, please.
What are we doing?
Choosing another image for Ethel's second vase. Yeah, 2 in one day is unusual. Very.
But I don't know what I'm doing. The Bronzino was a fluke, and Molly hated it.
Courage, my fine fellow. Courage. Why don't you try to say, why Molly? Can you do that?
Well, she loves books. She's read everything. That's what made me really look at her. She's pretty. You've seen her with her hair up, like the Bronzino. Even if she puts herself down for it, she's funny. She uses words like stricture. She's like me, not loud or dressy.
Very thoughtful. But we're talking about true love. Be irrational.
If that isn't me, I always try to be careful, to do the right thing.
You have feelings, we all do. Around Molly, well, what do you feel?
No. Or like I don't exist, like there's only Mom.
So, you see, the way you are around her, this is why we believe if you could win her, you would be true. This is why Ethel has decided to prepare your next vase.
It would tell Ethel. Molly doesn't seem very affected by flowers.
Ethel knows what the flowers are up against. Molly is a prisoner of conflict, not something you could have known or avoided. You are in love. We think Molly is very close, though it is possible the closer you take her, the more afraid she will feel. If that is the flowers' challenge, so be it. You saw Ethel's face. She will find a way for you to declare your love. Surely Molly will not be immune from that.
I just don't know. So many flowers.
Now, you could leave Molly alone, huh? We don't recommend it. Molly will be free herself from her past and from her family. She will love again. But it will not be you if you leave now. As you have seen, Molly is strong. She will not run from you.
No, she'll stand me up again in the flowers and break my heart again.
So, you have just proven yourself to be, beyond doubt, a man in love. Come.
Who is that?
Cupid? and Psyche as infants, a 19th century painting by a Frenchman, Willem Adolphe Boucheron. Here he represents their first kiss, the birth of true love. Ethel and I can deliver it and the new flowers by 7. We need to visit Mr. Bezanson.
Not too much. Fern for sincerity, for encouragement, black-eyed Susan, and your new message, daffodil, offering your regard only. These can meet Molly where she is. Oh, thank you.
Go to Molly again. Tonight, before she locks up the bookshop.
And eat something. So gray around the eyes. Molly will be frightened.
Well, Monsieur, I know Henry Miller, but won't discuss him. My super incisive sense of human frailty told me you'd be back. When you're ready, how about that coffee? No, you're a tea kind of guy, right?
Tea, yeah. I don't really like the caffeine after dinner.
Oh, bien. No caffeine après le dîner. A stroll then. When we're through here, I'll wait over there where we met.
Sorry about that. I don't know what she's thinking.
Of course not. But she does. Twice in one day. Look, Max, Dedham, I don't know what your florist told you, but that first vase of flowers, before I had to discard them. I looked them up. Iris, a message. Star of Bethlehem, hope. I wonder how much you hoped for. Blue salvia, you think of, well, me and that chrysanthemum. Secret admirer? You see how funny that is, how it let your secret out. I'm sorry. You don't know me. If I wasn't clear yesterday, I have issues. My family plays my emotions, so I'm on guard. Your flowers wanted me to react in a specific way, right? Like someone else telling me what to do. Your florists might do better with. Oh no, isn't fair to you. You had no idea. To you, they're only flowers. Oh my. You know their story, Cupid and Psyche, right?
Well, that's the first kiss of the beginnings of true love, or so I'm told.
Fine. Setting that aside, you know evil forces will separate them.
I mean, it must come out all right. There's another image of them later. Sculpture, white marble, incredible. Wings, folds of cloth, all cut in stone. And another kiss.
The Antonio Canova. It's my favorite in all the Louvre. How did you know?
Coincidence?
There are no coincidences. What?
Isn't it a coincidence that I just met someone else of that opinion? No, not her.
Good then. Do you like mythology? I'm in love with it.
Yeah, Lancelot, Guinevere, Penelope, and Ulysses.
First Henry James, now Ulysses. Can't help striking at the heart of it, can you?
James Joyce, I didn't mean that Ulysses particularly.
I was a flower of the mountain, yes. When I put the rose in my hair, like the Andalusian girls used. Or shall I wear a red? Yes. And how he kissed me under the Moorish wall. And I thought, well, as well him as another, and then...
And I thought, well, as well him as another. And then I asked him with my eyes to ask again, yes. And then he asked me, would I yes to say yes, my mountain flower. And first I put my arms around him, and yes, drew him down to me so he could feel my breasts all perfume, yes. And his heart was going like mad. And yes, I said, yes, I will. Yes.
That's when I realized love is about coming to yes. She's a Molly, too. Molly Blue. You should buy it. Read it for your thesis, or something. If you do read it, maybe you'll come back. Tell me what you think. Or not. May I help you?
Oh, Max.
Oh, what is it?
Well, at least this time Leo's picture didn't upset Molly. When I mentioned that other Cupid and Psyche, the sculpture of the Louvre, she really liked that. And I think she meant to show me this as something I might like until the other one.
The black-eyed Susan? Fern? Daffodil? Speaking of encouragement, sincerity, your regard?
Molly is decoding your flowers. I don't think she likes having them tell her what to do.
She does not know what I know. And yet, she gave you this book.
Yeah, to read for my thesis, she said, and come back and talk about it, or not. Or not. She doesn't want me to go back, not really. Why else would she give me an impossible book to read? Last night I kept rereading the end, and she showed me, and then I couldn't get through chapter 1, and why would I?
So, Molly showed you the last pages of Ulysses, huh?
Yeah, and sent me away again. Sometimes I think I'm the one not getting the message. Damn, that broad, I told you there's been another woman hanging around the bookshop.
The pretty blouse on Friday.
I helped her find a book. It wasn't like I asked her out or anything. Molly was showing me Ulysses, and we were getting along fine until this other girl, Charlotte, somebody dropped a book. And, well, I looked, and her blouse was open.
So, clumsy girl.
Clumsy. Molly reacted as Charlotte intended. Well, all is not lost.
That's easy for you to say. You're not the one she's going to reject the third time.
Molly would die if she thought you would not go back.
You two are not to be believed. Go here, do this, take these flowers, everything will be fine. Everything is not fine. Is Ethel angry with me too?
If you are frustrated, she is frustrated.
She's making more flowers, isn't she? I don't know if I dare.
It isn't the flowers, Max. It never is. Please, sit. The flowers only bring out emotions that Molly must acknowledge. Of course this is hard on you. I'm sorry we can't go along.
Heaven forbid she'd call the FBI.
So, there is a sense of humor. That is good. Come. You know how this works.
Stop. No, these images, flowers, Molly's rejections.
Do not blame the flowers or the images. They cannot make Molly fall in love. She is doing that herself. It would be as cruel to stop now as to go on. A flower thorn may prick the skin, the blood to flow. But should its magic prick the heart, then love may grow.
You know, that makes me queasy.
flowers have brought you so close to Molly, their work is almost done. Now you must declare, with Ethel's third phase, to help Molly face what is coming between you.
What's coming between us is
Well,
Charlotte.
Charlotte has no real power over Molly, nor has the memory of her husband, though her family wishes it so. Ethel's flowers have made you Molly's problem, which she will not stand for long. Valentine's Day comes, young man, and you must declare to Molly.
I didn't read it. I couldn't.
Never mind about Ulysses. You know, I should be angry. But you can't help being so last century. Any other man, if I had told him I can decode flowers, that would have ended it. Not you. I guess you went back to your florists and shot for the moon. Tulips. Oh, I double-checked, just to be sure. That's what your florists have done, all right. Declared your love. I get it. You're a special case. Your florists have underestimated me, and I've underestimated you. So we'll talk about us. First, you're going to promise me something. No more flowers. More pictures of courtly ladies who look like me. No more gooey hooey. From now on, you speak for yourself. Stand on your own 2 feet, as it were.
Okay.
No, promise me.
Okay, I said okay. I promise.
Thank you. Excuse me, I have to lock up. Can you stay? You understand why I asked you to stop with the flowers.
I guess.
I need you to be clear. Those florists of yours, you do realize what they're doing, right? They're moving way too fast. 3 vases in a couple days, and this one saying you love me when we've barely spoken. I shouldn't complain. I have my own posse, haven't I? My grandmother, we both know she meant to scare you away. And Gabe, she's in cahoots with Mr. Bezanson, the shop owner. Not to mention my parents. Well, if I'm going to make you go it alone, it's only fair that I should too. I'm going to make my own decision about it. To heck with whatever anyone else wants. So, now we talk. And not pretending to talk about books when we really aren't.
I'd like that.
We'll start with that thesis of yours. I don't like it. No authors get the man and woman right. I'd rethink that. Romeo and Juliet, Catherine and Heathcliff, Bloom and Molly, Shakespeare, Charlotte Bronte, James Joyce. Come on, they get their men and women exactly right. I think what you object to is that their lovers are perfect little marionettes. They break rules, do it their own way. Isn't that right? Isn't it? Well, you do see how your thesis might put pressure on a girl to get it right your way.
Was this how you thought that you and I could talk? You talk, I listen. Should I be going?
That might be best. What could you want with a high-maintenance girl like me? But it's an attractive little bookshop, so see each other. If you come. I'll not be ganged up on by a man and his florists. And as for Sweet Loomis, he's 4 buttons down. Go ahead, take him. You want him more than I can.
There you are.
Molly needed privacy. The young man came again. There were more flowers.
Oh, there aren't enough flowers in Romeo, in Verona, to supply that little Romeo.
He needs the flowers to speak for him, and you'd think she'd know it.
Molly isn't interested in him, and you'd think he would know it.
Can you imagine 2 people in love doing all they can to prevent it?
They aren't in love. They just met, for heaven's sake.
Don't you believe in love at first sight?
She likes what anyone can see, how he talks to her, or his eyes or something silly on the surface of things. It's what you can't see that makes love so dangerous. Like Jonathan's heart condition. She could have saved herself a lot of pain.
Is that a philosophy for life? Avoidance of pain?
Now, look who's talking, you and I. I'm only saying Molly should, and she does know better this time. Why else would she keep sending him away?
For the very reason we're discussing, that she knows about the pain,
Of loving and losing again?
if you will.
These things generally go the way they're meant to go. Well, how many flowers can the dear boy afford before he admits they aren't working?
If he means it, they are working. You know, she gave him Ulysses.
Grief! You don't think she...
She showed him Molly Bloom's monologue. I caught the look of her, watching him read.
And yet she sent him away again. I take heart in her good judgment, her upbringing.
She still wakes you in the dead of night. That should tell her something.
She lost sleep over a sick puppy. It's what she does.
That was different. If the puppy had died, Muriel would have gotten another puppy.
Muriel had another puppy, queued up in London, before Molly ran off with Jonathan.
Louis Bonheur, that dim-witted gadabout. Does Muriel take her daughter for a fool?
Any parent wants what's best for her only child. You saw how lovingly I chose Muriel for my Charles. He's no Einstein. He needed someone strong, so he'd be afraid to run off with another woman, as compared with our surprising Max. I know you're aware he was just in your alley and ran off with that overdone thing.
Max loves Molly, or believes he does, which is more or less the same thing for a young man of his experience.
All recent evidence to the contrary. Come on, then. You could use a home-cooked meal, and I could use some help with the fire.
Molly turns on lights, makes a point of punching a row of books out of line. She dons her coat, grabs her purse, turns everything off.
Molly?
You know my name.
And you know us better than you think. Chrysanthemum? Black-eyed Susan? Tulips?
The Bronzino, Cupid and Psyche.
Max's florists.
And yours.
You've kept yourselves busy.
Will you let us help you?
You can stay out of it.
Max had need of us. So do you.
Sit with us.
I will not. Your flowers. They're very powerful the way you do them.
They may be.
Oh, maybe. They go straight for the heart, and I think you know it.
You are suspicious of the flowers or of us?
I'm very tired of people making decisions for me. And if I'm suspicious, blame my heart. It's gotten me hurt. I don't need that again.
Oh, but you do. Trust your heart.
I'll trust my head, thank you. It hasn't been wounded and scarred over.
Your heart has recovered. Max's love has recovered it. Do you doubt Max?
Shouldn't I? Until he decides to speak for himself, I'll take the simple truth, something real, not two strange figures in the dark.
So,
You're probably not aware, but you've been fired. Max just promised to stop with the flowers. He knows he has to do it himself, whatever he thinks he's doing to me, with me. And if he does, then I'll decide. All by myself, I'll decide.
Will you decide?
Who are you?
why? Only two old florists.
More, I think. A period in the dark. You might be ghosts.
You are familiar with ghosts, yes? That's what I believe.
Oh, you are good. Fine. What about my ghost? Are you here to exorcise it?
Which one? You've had 3, but you made your peace with Jonathan.
What on earth?
Well, don't be surprised we know about Jonathan. We work for Mr. Bezanson.
And the other woman, Charlotte Granderson, she's no more in your way than Jonathan.
The ghost troubling you lies elsewhere. Can you identify it?
Is it the Bronzino? That woman, like, staring into my own eyes.
We do not fear the Bronzino, nor the flowers.
Oh, the flowers have been exorcised. I looked them up and threw them out.
The tulips spoke then. They spoke to you.
Oh, yes, they did. They said far too much. Have a heart. I'm not well.
We must work with what we are given. The time was right. You were ready to see the tulips, and therefore, as you know, Max has declared his love for you.
This is what you fear. Now you will decide. It is a good time. It's almost Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes, I will decide. I will. I will. I have to.
It's dark and it's cold. Go home. All will be as it should be.
Ah!
Where's the girl?
Not here.
You're the owner? Is it too much to ask whether she's found more Henry Miller?
I will see to it.
That she isn't coming back? Make how so?
Heard nothing? Or you won't say? I need to go.
Oh, to wander like Nimrod? We both know you've no idea where she's gone.
I might run into her. Maybe she's just late.
You've checked every day at 1 when she should arrive, Tuesday, Wednesday, today.
Are you stalking me?
Moi? I'm stalking Henry Miller, with about as much luck. She isn't coming back, the old man told me so, in his inscrutable way. We both want to find her, she owes me some books.
Henry Miller.
You can pay attention. As I was saying, we'll find her together, all right? There, it isn't so bad. I'm only trying to help. Work with me now. What do you know about the old man? I mean, what's his relationship with that classy old thing who comes to see him? The hat, designer shoes, coat, expensive coat?
Molly's grandmother.
Oh, grandmother. That's her name? Molly?
Yes.
You meet me right here tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock and we'll find her.
I don't know.
Que say, are you afraid of me? Men don't usually give me such a hard time. Haven't I been nice? Tried to highlight how much we have in common? I mean, we're readers, which is how we met in this pathetic hole in the wall. It is pathetic, a regular curiosity shop, you know? As in Charles Dickens?
Actually, Dickens' title is The Old Curiosity Shop. What's so curious about it?
Come on, you can do this. Think, not the books, the people. They don't seem curious to you? The woman, Molly, always absent-minded, reading books, can't even get her hands on Henry Miller, yet she works in a bookshop. And the old man, Zanson, the owner, he's a queer one. How old would you say he is?
How should I know? 50, 60 something.
See, might be 60, might be 160. Curious, no? Now then, you're reading Ulysses. I saw her sell it to you, along with her sad story.
Joyce is very difficult.
Exactly, so why would Molly give you Joyce? To test your skills? I could tell you haven't read it. Well, I have. Every delicious page. Once I take on a project, I usually succeed.
I could see how that would be true.
Do you? Good, because you're kind of, I was only going to say you'll be all right, Ulysses, but you have to let go. I mean, let yourself be carried away.
I'll keep that in mind.
Listen, I could help you through Ulysses. We could discuss it. I'd spring for coffee.
Tea.
Oh, mais certainement. Ulysses goes with tea, too.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on, a little tea, conversation, maybe a scone. You like scones? Not the American sinkers, the real scones. I'm doing everything in my power to help you find, what's her name?
Molly.
Right. So meet me back here tomorrow, 5 o'clock. You can trust me. I know how we can find her. Together.
I guess. Okay, sure.
Good.
Good afternoon, you old. Don't look at me like that.
Aren't you afraid she'll escape while you're here?
I play the cards I've dealt. Your florists inserted themselves where they have no business last night. After which Molly came to me, suffering a terrible setback. What could I do? I'll keep her as long as I deem necessary.
I wouldn't have said that's what she needs.
Ah, but she knows it's for the best. Her parents are prepared to go back to Plan A.
Louis Bonheur is gay.
Rumors! The important thing is the Bonheur family are all terribly in love with Molly.
If Molly picks this up, even a whiff, she'll run. Now, doesn't it matter to you, Molly not loving Monsieur Bonheur?
If I thought Max were half the man that you
Max is twice the man I am in her eyes. He's not afraid of her.
You're saying Molly thinks you're afraid of me? Phooey. She adores you.
My point is, she adores and respects him.
Because he's unafraid? Surely she knows that's only because, well, isn't it obvious? He's completely inexperienced. He has no idea what it is to be hurt. She, on the other hand, knows only too well. That's why she's afraid of him.
Even as we see, she wants him.
Oh, you ancient romantic. Open your eyes. She sent him away 4 times.
Always with an invitation to return, and he does.
Gabriel Pizanson, you think this is true love?
Now, why else would she battle anything that gets between them? Jonathan's ghost. Poof.
And you credit Max. Before that badly dressed young Lothario came along, my plan for Molly was making real progress. I believe she was coming to see how Jonathan was an unfortunate choice.
Your objection, actually, was that Jonathan was her choice.
Well, that's all mooch now. Your sainted Max is seeing another woman. Not 10 minutes ago, he was all cuddled up on the bench right out back with that painted dolly.
Painted dolly? Is that jealousy? On your granddaughter's behalf?
I'm against whatever makes Molly ill, and she's worse today than yesterday.
She won't get well locked away from Max.
Says who? I say we keep Molly out of love until she can handle it.
And force her to give us up to get what she wants.
That was cruel, and I think you know it.
I merely direct your attention to the obvious. She's running out of time.
Well, there's a convenient old crutch, whether or not you've a leg to stand on. How, pray, can young people run out of time? Look at me, Gabriel. Don't you think I'm running out of time?
Ah, you're both here.
Molly has been to see us.
How?
Escaped. She said to look for Max. On a little carpet in our shop, she collapsed.
We called an ambulance.
We felt responsible for encouraging her to decide about Max. Molly told us of a terrible fight with her grandmother. In desperation, she came to us, complaining of nowhere to go, having freed herself from her parents and her grandmother. And you.
I told Molly, you of all people would never keep her or come between Molly and Max.
That is a family matter.
Then it is true. You do oppose Max. How could you?
I have conspired with Margaret, and I see now that was wrong.
We've helped Max defeat Jonathan and Charlotte. We have no flowers to stop you.
That's true, you don't. You have something more powerful. Love.
There's more. At first, Molly said nothing about Max. She wanted flowers for you. I think even you have no idea how much she cares, how often she worries.
About your helplessness with Margaret.
We shall not speak of this.
Let us be your florist too, if you care about Molly.
Is Molly wrong about you? Do you not press others to catch their moment for true love while you act as if Margaret will live forever?
And your fear and
Stop! You could not understand.
Set Molly an example, sir. Face your own fear and you will help Molly.
do you stand for love or not?
Miss Hanson. Miss Hanson. All right, sir. Please. Molly set herself free walking out on her grandmother. Will you not also free yourself?
Fill the hole in Margaret's heart. Help her come to peace with Molly.
On one condition.
Always his condition.
You must stay out of it. The flowers cannot help Max and Molly now.
Men, I will decide when the flowers can help.
I thought you'd be pleased. Aren't they pretty? I was just passing these florists. Well, don't go all catatonic on me. You're late.
Well, I was just...
I know. I saw you were in there looking for Molly. But she wasn't there today either. How long do you intend to wait?
You said you knew how to find her.
Well, what I hope I said was we could find her. You proved you can't do it. You need me.
Well, then what's your idea? I'm asking.
Well, don't be in such a rush. Let's consider. Woman disappears. Could be dead for all we know. No, don't have a heart attack. She isn't deceased. She's missing for some utterly unremarkable reason, which the old man obviously knows, but won't tell you. We're intelligent people with a mutual problem. So what do? My idea is to get someone else who knows where she is. Come on, think. Who else would know where this person...
Molly.
Yeah. Who else would know where she is?
The only one I can think of is her grandmother.
Well done. Now, how do we find the grandmother? Do you know her phone number or where she lives or anything? Well, that tack won't sail, will it?
Byzantine.
Hang on, Speedy. The old man won't give up Grandma either. You know that, right? Oh dear, you're not giving up. Fine, I'll spell it out for you. We've both seen the grandmother in that bookshop. Now, with my special powers of perception, I've also seen them out here, sitting pretty close. So we know she isn't coming to buy books. You don't suppose they're dating or something?
How should I know?
Well, that's my idea anyway. The old lady's the only other one I've seen around here as much as you and I and the old man. So as luck would have it, we're all connected.
That's your idea.
We're going to have to stake out this bookshop until Grandma comes back. It's our only chance. If you think about it, we're stocking it out right now. Dommage! No sign of Grandma. Don't you have a sense of humor? You know, we might as well talk while we wait.
Talk. What about? What if she comes back?
We'll still have had a nice talk. If it gets dark and she hasn't shown up, we'll try again tomorrow, okay? Start with Ulysses?
No.
Oh, that was cooperative. Come on, I know you're interested. You might not realize it, but I saw the look on your face when you were reading the ending of Molly Bloom's soliloquy.
You know that's a term for drama, for plays.
I didn't call it that. Critics call it that. Joyce is famous for it, didn't you know? Well, you know it. You know it now. See, I'm good for you. I actually talk with you. In fact, believe it or not, no matter how dumb you play, I like talking with you. Therefore, I don't send you away all the time like some people. We could talk about oodles of literature. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Of course you would. Why don't you want to talk about Molly's solil whatever? Does it embarrass you? It certainly turned those beautiful cheeks red the other day. Wait, that's it! You were embarrassed. Oh, I see. Yes, Christimas. Haven't you ever? Okay, none of my business. What else can we talk about? I don't know, Henry Miller, Tropic of Cancer, the book you helped me find, no? Sweet Mother of Sorrows, whatever will I do with you? Prithee, sir, thou shouldst love me better thus. Wasn't that revelatory? Wait, no, don't go. I'm sorry about the kissing. I know you're not ready for it. Please, I'm sorry. Did you think that was real passion, or was I faking it?
You could fake it. Well, we can't be in love, so.
Why? Don't you believe in love at first sight?
Probably not.
Well, not yours, mine. What if I've decided you're my love at first sight?
Well, in that case, I don't believe it.
Really? You certainly dropped your pencil the other day with Little Miss, oh, thanks, flowers, now go away.
Look, you were right before. That's none of your business. It wasn't at first sight. I come here a lot, and whatever Molly feels, she never fakes it.
Well, la-dee-da, how would you know? All we can be sure of is you can't fake it. You certainly didn't fake it with me just now. You didn't do anything, did you? I'd like to think you're gay and that it isn't my fault. But we know better, don't we? So what's the problem? You only like girls who turn you away? I don't think you'd know real passion if it clogged you. What on this green earth are you waiting for, Max? Are you under the silly moral misconception that you should be saving yourself? For what? But of course, the inveterate reader of fairy tales, the egghead with the so pretty face, you're waiting for your princess's magic kiss. Well, that's not real life, Max. You're going to have to wake up and start trying. You realize if you ever get what's-her-name in bed, all she'll do is talk about books. Now, don't gape at me. It's what happened to Henry Miller à Paris. He had a whore who wasn't a whore to him. And I don't mean what's her name is a whore. But that's what they did all the time. They talked about books in bed. Is that what you want?
Look, I know you think I'm a fool, or at least about love. And maybe you're right. But I did read Molly's interior monologue, and I liked it. My Molly was standing right there. Maybe I couldn't tell at the time because I'm prone to distraction, but later that night, I think I got what she wanted me to get from Molly Bloom. For which I have you to thank, but not in the way you hoped, probably. Because I know now that there are two kinds of passion, and one is selfish, and the other kind, which I should hope to experience, is Molly Bloom's passion. It isn't magic, and she's not a princess, but her love is believable. It's real. It's on a human scale, even though it's as powerful as anyone could stand, without being hurt. Look, I'm sorry about the flowers and the card. For future reference, I'm pretty sure yellow roses is too much for a first whatever you thought this was. Molly's gone. Oh, Max! You knew and you didn't tell me.
Well, we do not track down our own customers, Max, at home.
That's what I am to you, a customer. Anyone wanders in, and no matter how suspicious their behavior, you just give them flowers.
What do you mean, Charlotte?
Charlotte got yellow roses. Surely you understand.
I gave her a commercial Valentine's Day card right off the rack.
I never opened the card. Yes, I figured out the roses. My point is, you knew Charlotte would believe those flowers were on her side. In her confidence, she's helping you find Molly. Why? I never encouraged her.
That is beyond our expertise.
Expertise, indeed. I've been thinking about that. About your theories, the way you see true love. It's really quite cruel. I mean, Charlotte isn't a bad person, and I think it's unfair that Molly gets help because you've decided she has something that Charlotte doesn't have or can't have. Now, despite the colors in Ethel's flowers, you two see the world in black and white. Lovers come in and you decide if they deserve true love. And who are you to say? I mean, for the sake of argument, Molly hardly gives me a sliver of hope. Why not Charlotte?
Oh, we never said not Charlotte.
We said Molly now.
Well, I don't like it. Your so-called judgment has frustrated one girl who can't know why everything she tries fails, and even as you've apparently driven Molly to hiding.
Oh, dear, dear.
We have frustrated Charlotte.
You've seen her in that bookshop. You should have known how she'd see your faces affected Molly. Charlotte believed in you and in your flowers. What she thought I'd been flowered out of my mind. She kissed me twice. And you knew that would happen. By the way, Charlotte's kisses, I felt nothing. Did you know that too? Well, nice work. She was so frustrated, I guess. She told me I didn't know the first thing. All of you, you've got me worried she was right. I don't know the first thing about love, do I?
Well, she isn't right for you now. That's what you felt, yes?
Well, I suppose. I mean, wouldn't you think she'd look at this and figure out I couldn't fall for a woman who uses makeup like that, talks like that, uses passion if it could be bought off a rack. Charlotte doesn't get the woman right. Where is Mom?
Molly's in the hospital.
What? I'll go to her.
You cannot.
But why? Because she's finally decided against me? You know that too, don't you?
Please, listen. Molly escaped Monday from her grandmother's house and came here, exhausted. From all that's happening, she collapsed right there on the floor.
Molly has declared her freedom.
From them or from me?
To make her own decision about you.
That can't go well. I'm the one making her sick. The flowers, don't you see, they can awaken certain emotions, but they can also hurt. And she complained about that first vase. I should have stopped then. Now I have to stop, don't I?
Do you love Molly?
And if I do, she turns me down and then disappears.
We shall send flowers one more time.
No, Molly said no more flowers. I agreed.
Bezanson, he asked us to stay out of it.
I did not promise.
I can smell the lilac from here.
With tarragon and time. For Molly, courage and strength. She will need it. Lilac is the most powerful flower on earth. It represents first love, yours. By choosing to stand alone, Molly has made herself defenseless against lilac. What she only suspected before, she now faces full force. The responsibility of accepting your first and true love. This is the root cause, so to speak, of her illness. As for withholding your love, your flowers, even your thoughts, well, you know Molly, she will make this decision.
Is she any better?
I blame the boy. And you. They're your flowers. Somehow you made them choose lilac, which I removed from Molly's room before she awoke to see them. Oh, I feel like Lady Macbeth. I'll never get the smell of lilac out of these clothes. I got it next door, where all the flowers come these days. It's a peace offering.
Were we at war? One pink rose. Friendship accepted. Long ago.
Oh, don't pretend ignorance. You knew exactly when I'd stuck my head in that refrigerator, and before I could come out with the one rose. You had filled my head with memories. The way it starts, how someone can occupy your field of vision until you're so disoriented you might fall. Heart pounding on your chest, the ringing your ears, a first kiss, and then, the books, a warm cocoon of your little shop in winter. At first it was too much.
You stayed away for months.
7 months to be exact. I was afraid. Tonight, having my head flash frozen in that refrigerator of yours, I think I figured it all out. Love is stronger than fear, isn't it? Isn't that what you wanted me to understand? While I thought I was picking you one rose?
You see, it isn't magic to the magicians. Molly's one of us. It isn't this bookshop, it's the flower shop she should have.
I don't know what to say.
Say you'll join mine of conspiracy.
Conspiracy? To make Molly a florist?
To make her free to decide about Max.
Aren't you forgetting yourself? Your vow to safeguard Molly.
Remembering myself, rather. I am guilty, and it is about flowers, though not as I thought. I'm the one stuck her nose into my flower books, with the result that Molly can no more be wooed by flowers in Queen Mab. She knows too much.
As do you. Why, if it had been you stuck your head in that refrigerator half an hour ago, it would have been the flowers that wilted.
Molly with Max. It's my own fault. I should have known to leave the flowers out of it.
I'm afraid you're going to have to share the blame. Your flowers, my meddling. Oh, Gabe, what have we done? My daughter-in-law will have me off.
Never. She loves you and Molly. It's a mother's trial, too. That she has no idea how to show it. All I'm suggesting is her child does not have to be Molly's. Or ours, for that matter. Well, that's our plan. Leo, Ethel, what do you think?
Is it legal, Miss Anson?
It is legal because Margaret is her guardian.
It was the rose changed your mind. The pink rose you took to Mr. Bezanson last night.
Oh, Rose Schmoes. I decided on my own, thank you, that Molly should make her own decision about Max. This still has the potential to backfire spectacularly. Who guarantees Max will show up? We've all seen him with that other woman, Charlotte.
Charlotte told Max he didn't know how to love. I reminded Max that Charlotte only knows Max doesn't love her. He brightened up at that. You could give Max the benefit. You've admitted Molly's having her own doubts.
With good reason. Max and his incessant floral assault. Well, we have all learned our lesson about the flowers. You can thank me for one thing. I made Molly forgive herself for rejecting Max. He knew it was wrong after one vase, for heaven's sake. It was worth our fighting about. Brought back the color of her cheeks. Unless it was the damned lilac.
To review then, our plan is to bring Max and Molly together here right after closing on Valentine's Day. That means taking Molly out of the hospital tomorrow night. What is the latest on her parents?
What, Gabriel Bezanson? You're supposed to know everything.
I know our plan won't amount to a silly dream if Molly's parents arrive too soon.
I told you. The mother was for coming today. My single-minded son has a business engagement and insisted on Tuesday. Well, someone slammed down the receiver before I heard a decision. My guess? They'll arrive at my house late Tuesday afternoon.
Valentine's Day.
Well, they'll keep Molly from meeting Max.
The time may be on our side. The parents will go to Margaret's home, but Molly won't be there. Members of our guild will meet us behind the hospital tomorrow night and take her to a safe home overnight. They'll not force her to come on Tuesday evening, only remind her that Max is expected to be here at about that time. Remember, none of this can happen without Ethel's magic.
When you have helped Molly get dressed in her hospital room, Leo and I will come up the elevator, and as soon as we step out, I'm to faint. Is that right?
While the staff work on reviving you, we'll spirit Molly down the back stairs where a guild car will whisk her away.
And on Valentine's Day, I'm to close the shop at the usual hour?
Precisely at 9. I will close the bookshop an hour early at 8. Margaret will already be in my office. The guild will deliver Molly by 8:30, if she's willing. And we'll move to the flower shop just as you're locking up. I asked Max to come at 9.
Or may I sit with Molly and to wait for Max?
All right. What if we forgot?
Oh, Charlotte Granderson. On Valentine's Day, she'll be looking for Max.
Max never told Charlotte how to contact him. I'll watch for her around the shops.
And pray for Max and Molly. More depends on them than they know.
The night before Valentine's Day.
Oh, oh.
Sit.
Oh.
I suppose we will die not knowing. How you know?
Ethel looked tired when we met yesterday. I was coming to see. How are you?
Desperate. Max and Molly.
Everything is in their hands now, as it should be.
Shall we sit up all night talking? My wife needs to be in bed. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and we still run a flower shop. Unless you're planning on taking it from us.
Our agreement stands. This shop is yours as long as you can manage.
Valentine's Day. I shall manage for Max and Molly.
Yes, yes. And now, my love, please, to bed. You let yourself out.
Gabriel opens the flower case. The next evening, Valentine's Day. Leo is locking up as Gabriel closes the bookshop's register. An early closing sign is in the Dusty Jacket's front door. Charlotte ignores it.
We're closing early. The sign on the door.
Mom, are we? Well, I have a question. What have you done with the girl and Max?
We have given them their wings.
Made them angels? Killed them?
Oh, for God's sake!
They're free now to do as they choose. As I said, we're closed.
What is it with you two? I mean, why not me? Because of that selfish girl? You can't approve of the way she treats Max. Well, I think it's deplorable. Besides, I'm prettier, and I've decided on Max, which is more than you can say for Molly.
Perhaps another time.
But I'm ready now. Ready, Freddie. I'm telling you, no time like the present. Say Valentine's Day. Forget the stupid marketing. It's disrespectful. Valentine's Day has Bacchanalian origins. I say, bring back the passion.
Well, here we are.
And where exactly are we?
Somewhere between moon and stars.
That's what I love about you, Gabe. Try to pin you down and suddenly you're everywhere and nowhere. Have you heard anything? As I thought, nor have I.
You're early.
Molly runs a finger over the spines of flower books until one responds.
What?
As if you didn't know.
Grandmother, I won't break.
I'm so relieved to see you.
But you are, both of you, is relieved I've come as you wished. Imagine, if I'd run off to Timbuktu, you'd be quite distressed. For yourselves.
How can you say that? We only want.
Well, you've been so very clear about what you want.
Which is for you to make your own decision. It's why you've come.
You bet it is. Has Gabe snapped his fingers and made them vanish?
Them?
My parents. You called them, of course. It was your duty when you found me in the hospital. Mother would have pulled strings, been on the first plane out of Heathrow.
They were delayed by your father's plans and arrived only this afternoon. I let them find you missing at the hospital and took the brunt when they came after me at home. They think I'm searching the city for you. Eventually, they'll detect foul play. Oh, what a sorry cabal we make. You do realize we're all guilty in their eyes. Oh, yes. There'll be places for everyone at the wall.
They'll look here next after asking around about the address.
By that time, if we're lucky, things will have sorted themselves out.
Sorted themselves out, you mean? Well, are we going? To be among the flowers?
Leo, look!
Max isn't here.
We suggested he come after the shop closed.
What?
What indeed? What do you want?
For all this to be over. My parents could be here any minute. And where is Max? Where has he been since Thursday? He knew I was in the hospital. He sent flowers. Oh, wait. He promised me no more flowers. It was you sent the lilac.
Well, the hospital was under orders to keep Max from you, and I had to act.
Against our wishes. I'd have thought that beneath you.
Don't you feel better? Of course you do. The lilac did that.
What does it mean, the lilac?
First love, true love, Max's.
That's so Max, isn't it? He won't go away. As badly as I've treated him.
Badly? You shared Molly Bloom's monologue.
Because he knows books. Fiction. Surely you see by now that's how Max knows love. As a perfect thing, gift wrapped in a neat package. Love at first sight, true love. He's a believer. Well, so am I. Why not? I had my rocket ride with Jonathan. It crashed, and I fell back to earth, where I play at matchmaking. Gabe's right, I shouldn't. At least I don't carpet bomb my customers like some people.
Well, the flowers that require me to act, they affect me,
Affect your judgment.
affect my heart. We love you and Max. We had to help him past your ghost.
But you've misunderstood. Jonathan is no horror movie spook, selfish in his haunting. My ghost is there when needed. Always. Sustaining. Comforting.
Jonathan was your true love.
So I thought, until Gabe convinced me that we may have more than one. Still, none of you needed to push Jonathan aside. If you will stand by me, even today, I am blessed.
And Max?
Ah, Max. So blind, so constant. Max will have the love he deserves, don't you think? If I were the matchmaker, the real one, I mean, I'd find Max as pure a lover as he has been, as we are but once in life. For me, it was Jonathan, not to be repeated. Do I despair of loving again? Certainly not. What else would Gabe and Grandmother Kylie been to me but a constant beacon, lighting a future in which we may find love at any time, no matter our pasts? I only wonder how perversely they deny themselves. Well, not for me to judge, but I know love when I see it, and it connects them as inevitably as gravity. But we're wasting time. Make something new for me. I looked it up tonight. Please God, it's right. You have geranium, ivy, larkspur.
It's been a busy day. I seem to be out of larkspur. Well, here is larkspur. How could I have missed it?
Do you see what an excellent florist your granddaughter would have made?
If she will, she will.
Did you choose the Bronzino? Max chose her? Why?
He saw you.
She's so beautiful.
Max.
My sweet Ulysses. What?
Bronzino really had no idea.
That isn't fair. When it's you actually has no idea. You don't, do you? Have any idea what you do to me?
I know I made you sick. Unless that was the flowers.
Max, it wasn't you made me sick. Or the flowers. I told you, I have a ghost.
Oh, that. Well, if you hadn't disappeared for 8 long days, I would have liked the chance to tell you I don't believe in ghosts.
Well, in my family, we certainly do believe in ghosts. I mean, let me see. How to explain? Tell me, Sir Bookish. Hamlet's father, on the parapet at night. Is he real or not?
Well, that depends.
On what? He appears, he's listed in the cast, an actor plays him.
Well, it's Shakespeare. Is Ariel real?
Prithee, answer my question with an answer. Is Hamlet's father real?
Well, Hamlet believes so, but Hamlet's a little off.
Fine. You think I'm a little off where Jonathan is concerned? Well, I'm sorry. You aren't the only one in this room who has mistaken us both, Jonathan and me.
Would you mind putting your ghost somewhere else so we can talk about us? That was why I was told to come.
That's all I'm saying. To all of you. Let me put Jonathan over there. I can live with him. Can you?
Well, that depends.
You and your depends. Can you live with him?
Just hypothetically, looking way down the road, would he be sleeping with us?
Well, now we're getting somewhere. I came here tonight, so sure of myself, given the freedom to decide about you. And I had decided. I decided to ask you to respect my need, well, whatever it was I decided. I was sure of it, I was, and then you walked through that door, and it all turned out to be a lie. My getting to decide. Because you're not the one I decided about.